All right, what's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back. This is Ola coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. I am the author of Smart Real Estate Wholesaling and Real Estate Money Secret, founder for 11 Days Challenge, myEmpirePRO.com. Welcome back. Let's have some fun. Please go ahead and share this video with people you know may find it useful. We're going to be talking about real estate investing. We're going to be talking about real estate wholesaling. We're going to be talking about building a real estate business in a digital age. Okay. So you can basically count on me not to teach you things like driving for dollars, knocking on doors, cold calling. I won't teach you stuff like that. Okay. Because frankly, those things are becoming more and more obsolete. All right. So let me make sure that the audio is working fine. All right, looks like we're fine. So today's thumbs up goal is 5. So let's just try to get that to 5. I'd appreciate that if we can get that up to 5. A couple of questions that I want to answer today. A couple of things that came up. I think I haven't been here in about 2 weeks or so. We try to come back here every Tuesday, just so you know. Tuesday at 4 p.m. We'll go live. But the beauty about my channel is that most of our audience, we have about, like right now, we have about, let's see, we have about, let me refresh this real quickly. All right, so our audience here is very secluded, exclusive stuff here. What I teach you may not sound sexy, but it works. Okay, I am a system nerdy. Okay, basically, how do you set up systems and process that works all the time, not system and process that works only after time. Okay, so yeah, in the last 48 hours, we had 287 people came by this YouTube channel alone, not the Facebook. But the beauty about this is that you get to watch this anytime you want. You don't have to be here live with me. If you're here live with me, I guess if you have questions, you get to ask me directly. But I come here every Tuesday, answer a few questions, and bring you guys up to speed with what we have going on here at my Empire Pro. The goal here is to give you access to the right type of education, not just any education. Like, listen, let's be clear, right? You have access to all the knowledge you need on YouTube for free, okay? But knowledge and education are two different things, okay? Um, you know, you get to a point that knowledge has to become execution. You have to actually be able to use it to create results. That's where I come in. I leave everything else to everybody else. With that being said, if you're just looking to watch videos and have a good time and stuff like that, and just watch videos and become a fan, I have more than 800 plus videos on this channel. So you want to make sure definitely that you subscribe. Okay, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you're on Facebook, make sure you like, follow, those nice things, and get it going. All right. Yep. So please don't forget to give it at least give it at least 5 thumbs up today. That's the goal for the day. So let's go into today's first topic. The first thing we want to answer today is actually, I think we should go with this first. Okay. Do I need money to wholesale? But I think it's very important that we understand what wholesale is first, right? Wholesale is an investment, real estate investing strategy. Okay. Wholesale traditionally is a type of trade. Okay. So in trading, you have wholesale, you have retail. Retail is essentially when you go to a regular market and you pay full price, the retail price of some kind of product, right? In real estate, it's the same thing. You go to an agent, most of the houses that are listed on an MLS, multiple listing system with an agent, most of those properties are listed at the retail price. Okay. But here's the problem with that. As an investor, if you're trying to invest in real estate, there's nothing wrong with paying full price, but you're gonna have to pay down the property. Like you have to pay down, like you may get a full price mortgage on it, right? You have to pay it down before you can start. So basically, you're investing time, right? And you're gonna have to invest time along with the fact that you invested the retail price of it. But the truth is that you can actually come into a property, you can buy it a lot cheaper, which means you have what we call an inbuilt equity. Okay. meaning the property is worth $400,000. You were able to pay $200,000 for the property. How? Well, that's what we cover here. Okay, that's what we cover. How do you find such properties, right? But that's the idea. Instead of going to the retail market, you go to the wholesale market. So you've seen that in groceries, right? You go to a farmer's market, you get better pricing, right? Because somehow in the chain of trading, they are closer to the source of those products, right? They're closer to the farm, right? So they call it farmers market. So you get to pay a cheaper price for it. It's the same thing with real estate. So in real estate, there's something called wholesale, which means you scout and find properties that are cheaper than the regular market. Okay, so it is a strategy. Basically, a property is worth $400,000. You're able to find it for $200,000, and you don't even have to buy it. You can literally lock it up under contract and flip it to an end buyer, and basically they'll pay you for helping them find the deal, right? And that's how wholesaling works. Okay, so you find a property, you lock it up under contract for a certain price point that's significantly lower. All right, we're looking at something 65% of the retail price or lower, and then you have to adjust it for the repair estimate if it needs work. So in order to find such deals, you want to make sure that you're going to have other ways to add value to the situation. What do I mean by adding value to the situation, right? A person in their right mind is not going to sell you a $500,000 property. They're not going to sell that to you for 250. Okay, why would they sell you a property that's worth $500,000? Why would they sell it to you for $250,000? There's got to be something wrong somewhere, right? A lot of times it could be the property. The property needs a lot of work, and they don't have the time. They don't want to deal with it. Okay, this is where people that say, "Hey, they lose their property to investors." This is where they're wrong. Nobody loses their property. They don't want the property because it needs work. They don't want to deal with that, right? So that's how you bring value to that person. The person doesn't want the property. You show up, you lock it up under contract, you help them get rid of the property, and you make some money in between. As a matter of fact, you can actually keep the property for yourself, because remember, you're purchasing this property at a discounted price. You have inbuilt equity. You're buying the property, you put in $50,000 worth of work. So you purchase it for 250, you put in $50,000 worth of work. Now your total cost is about $300,000. Property is still worth $500,000. Now, inbuilt equity, you now have $200,000 worth of equity in the property, starting from the beginning of the ownership of the property. All right. So now that will be you buying, fixing to hold. But a wholesaler will lock it up under contract and simply sell the right of the contract to a person that will actually exercise the contract. That's what wholesaling is. That's what this is all about. Okay. So do you need money to wholesale? Let's look at the process here. Let me see here. Do you need money to wholesale? The answer is yes, but do you need money to buy the property? No. If you just pay attention to what I just said, you could literally lock it up under contract. It's just a piece of paper, and you can sell the right to that contract using what they call an assignment contract. That's something we cover extensively on this channel. You can search for wholesaling 101 OLA talks Abitogun. There's a 7-video series that will come up for free, where I go into a little bit more details about that. But do you need money to wholesale? Not particularly to buy a property, but this is about marketing. Okay, so in order to market, you need a few tools here and there. Okay, and if you're going to do it the right way, you may say, hey, I need a coach, I need a mentor, right? And that can cost money, right? But as far as buying properties by itself, no, it doesn't have to cost you anything. It can cost you time, right? So if you have time and you have the luxury of time, which usually means you may not have a lot of money, you may be able to partner with a person that have money and find deals for them, and then you're making money in real estate. Does that make sense? So it's either you have time or you have money. Okay. So that takes me to the second question. How much do you need to start wholesaling? How much do you need to start wholesaling? Okay. It's a tricky question. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Okay. If you can't prepare to have somewhere at least $300 per month for marketing and to pay for the tools necessary, you don't have any business actually try to build a business. Okay. Because at the end of the day, this is a real business. Okay. This is a real business like everything else. It costs money, it costs time, it costs energy, it costs skill set. Okay. I mean, look at this books right here, right? So can you imagine how much time it took me to put books together, right? This is, I tell people you have to read this book's 10 to 15 times. You have to be able to teach it in your sleep, right? Do you think that's beans? I don't know if that's a saying in America, but that means, do you think that's a joke? That's not a joke. Okay. And I'm not the one that will come here and tell you like you don't need nothing. You could just drive around town. Well, that costs money. That costs gas money, right? So, and plus it's a lot more expensive when you do the math, grand scheme of things. It's a lot more expensive driving around town for dollars. Okay. It's going to cost you more in your time if you value your time, and it's going to cost you more in money too. Okay. So just keep that in mind there. All right. All right. So let's keep going here. Let me see here. All right. So let me go ahead and address Ken's question. Ken, welcome here. Ken says, how do you find the correct owner's number and email address? Okay, so how do you find owner's record, contact information? Okay, so that's a good question. Let me show you something really quickly. Okay, first of all, it's called skip tracing, and there are services everywhere. We cover that in our training, but if you search for skip tracing online, if you search for skip tracing on Google, there's tons of services that will come up. There's some of them will charge you. Actually, we had the service at one point, but we discontinued it. It was at like 7 cents, but you had to do a minimum of 300. But there are services for 15 cents per record, 20 cents per record. Basically, what happens is that you upload a piece of data, a list of data, you upload it into whatever skip tracing system they want, or you send it to them, and they go out there. They have a machine that goes out there and search around the internet for these people's contact information. They search for cell phone numbers. Some of them search for email addresses. Some of them search for landlines and stuff like that. And then it comes back. But Ken, it looks like you're already part of our family here. I think I recall your name. I think I tried to call you earlier. I'm not sure if we spoke. So you should have access to what I recommend for you inside of the 11 days challenge. So I would just wait and go through that process. But that's the concept of it. You upload a list, or if you have a service like the service I recommend for you has everything in one spot, and basically just run it, and then they like within like 10 minutes they come back with a bunch of phone numbers, up to 80% accurate phone numbers, and you could do whatever you want with that. Okay. As well as email address as well. Okay, so just follow the 11 days challenge. That step by step, those things are covered. All right. So let's see here. But I was gonna show you. Let's see. I think I should go ahead and show you this. Here's a quick warning for you guys. I see a lot of people try to solve problems that don't exist. Okay, the screen you're looking at right now is essentially the 5 stages of the business of real estate investing. Okay, it's data. It starts with data. Now we're talking in the digital age, so everything starts with data. Okay, so when I tell you a list of potential target properties, that will essentially be data. If you drive around town, you bought into the idea that you could just drive around town and write down addresses. What you're doing is you're stuck on stage one, and you're doing it the most expensive way when you could do it for pennies on the internet. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And you're so far away from stage 5, which is where money is created, and you're wasting most of your time doing that. Okay, the question that Ken just asked is essentially stage number 2. How do you it's partly stage number 2. Okay, depending on the kind of strategy you want to go by. Do you want to go with the reactive, or you want to go with the proactive? I personally prefer what people may consider reactive. They're not reactive. They allow me to be able to track my activities and put all my resources in the places where they are most likely to give me the best return on investment. Okay, so I like when people reach out to me that, hey, I have a house to sell. All right, or they fill out a form online. I prefer that personally, but there's no rules that say it must be that way. There's all text messaging still work. Okay, but you just kind of have to You have to have the skill set of getting them to getting, going through numbers. It's still numbers game, right? You're going to go through a lot of numbers. It's going to be a lot more hectic, right? And but it's doable, where people say yes. Well, what's your offer, right? But just keep in mind that when people are asking you what's your offer, it's not the best position to be in. You need to have the skill set to flip that around on them. But we're going to talk about that more in a second here. But what I was saying is that each one of these stages represents a new problem that you have to solve, and you're solving the problem all the way to stage 5. A lot of people are asking questions. They're roaming around the internet looking for contract, and they don't know how to create contact and generate leads first. They don't even know. They don't even know that they're supposed to do leads. All right. So inside of this book right here, chapter 3 is all about data. Okay, data. You cannot build a business in this time and age without understanding how data plays a role. You will fail. Okay, because basically the competition is ahead of you. But I know when I say data, it sounds digital and sounds like something that's technical, but it's not. Okay. As a matter of fact, as I'm talking to you right now, I'm collecting data and I'm using that to determine where I spend more and more of my resources, including the time I sit down here talking to you, including what kind of videos I should do, what kind of trainings I should do. We're measuring all of that. The same thing is applicable in the wholesaling business when you're marketing, right? Where are you spending your time? Where are you spending your marketing dollars? Is it generating the kind of return on investment that is meaningful, right? Or as compared to the other options that you have, right? There's no marketing strategy that doesn't work, including driving for dollars. The real question is, are you going to be in the business when it works? Or maybe you would have quit already by that time, right? Maybe you would have been frustrated out of the business, right? That's the real question, right? So there's no strategy that can't work at some point. The question is that will it work 3 years from now or 3 months from now? Or can you sustain the process? Do you enjoy the process, right? There's a couple of questions that comes to mind when we're talking about that. All right. All right. So let's move on to the next question here. Question here goes, how much money can you make wholesaling? That question is very generic, and it's always a weird question for me. What I can tell you is that the highest I've made from one deal is $82,000. My average is $25,000 per deal. I have made as low as zero on a deal before. The deal fell apart. Okay, it just didn't happen. Things happened, and we found out they owe way too much money. And I've also closed another deal like that. That 6 months later, my partner said, "Hey, I got a $5,000 check coming your way." We were able to get a payoff on the deal we closed. That we took on a promissory note back on the deal because we needed money to do the deal, right? So there's all kind of weird scenarios. But the key thing here is that one deal can change your life. That's very true. But I know way too many people that have closed one deal and can't close any more deals after that, right? Because they never created a system that will keep doing the same thing over and over again. They were just very excited. They got lucky and they closed one deal. You see a lot of them on the testimonials, right? They closed one deal, they're excited, and you can't find them no more. And there's like 200 of them on one guru's videos, right? You don't want to be in that category. You want to be a person that's doing deals from time to time to time. And that's why in the 11 days challenge, we focus on helping you build a system that you can outline everything. That's why we come up with the 5 stages, and you know where you're getting stuck if you're ever getting stuck. Okay. All right. So just keep that in mind. So how much money can you make in wholesaling is completely up to you, but this is a business. Just keep that in mind. It's going to take a little bit of you more than a job, but it's worth it. Okay. Because if you build this out into a business system, it's absolutely worth it. Plus it expands out. The back end of this is that you can literally keep the best deals for yourself. You can buy and hold, and you can build wealth. Okay. And you can build a legacy, build a portfolio of assets that are the best, because you're the one also on the forefront of marketing for this kind of deals. Okay. So if you're here and all you want is just want to buy and flip, buy, fix, and flip, you're still in the right place, because this skill set is either you learn it or you have somebody on your team who learns it so you can get the best deals and just get the other deals that you don't want, get them out to other people and collect 5 grand, 10 grand, 25 grand, a few couple dollars over there, here and there. It all adds up. Okay. But the first thing you want to think about when it comes to this question is understand it's a business. That's why you can't come at me and say, I don't have $300 a month. I'm going to tell you, go back to a job. For the meanwhile, figure that out first and come back, okay? Because ultimately what happens is that if I help you squeeze yourself in, you're going to be a pain in the neck for all of us, including myself, including yourself eventually, because again, you're trying to squeeze nothing out of something, right? But if you have a job, you can basically say, I got $300, I got $500, I got $600 a month, I got $1,000 a month that I can invest in this business. There's a process to follow, and I can do this over and over again. Okay, so I wasn't comfortable with the question, but I did it with the question, but we made it happen, right? Let's go on to the next one here. How do I get wholesale contract? All you have to do is Google that. If you Google that, there's all kind of options that comes up. But if you're going through our program here, we do give you a copy when you get to that stage. Remember what I just told you about solving problems that don't exist, right? Like, don't try to solve problem number 4 until you learn how to collect the right type of data, generate contacts, okay, meaning somebody actually contacted you or you contacted a person, right? And you know how to do that over and over consistently, because the only secret in this game is 2 secrets: simplicity, keep it simple, and be consistent. But keep it simple with what? If you're keeping it simple with things that will frustrate you, then there's no point, right? You're wasting time, right? So make sure you're also keeping it simple with the right strategies, and you're consistent. You're positioned in the place that you can do it over and over and over again. Even if you don't close the deal for the next 3 months, you can do it over and over. You know exactly what to do, right? All right. So wholesale contract, when you get to that stage, in the 11 days challenge, we'll give you a free copy for free. You can use it anywhere in the nation. The other thing I want to tell you about wholesale contract, I was talking to one of our prodigies, and he or she, I forgot who it was, said something about there was a contract that they couldn't use in the state, Kentucky or something like that. Let me tell you something. If you did everything wrong, if you write the contract that say, I'm buying this house from you for this amount of money, and we're gonna close, it's a binding contract. Don't get stuck with that problem. A contract can be fixed anywhere on or before the closing date. Okay, so even if you did it all wrong, the key thing here is that you need to be talking to a motivated seller. You need to spend your time talking to motivated sellers. Don't waste your time on non-motivated sellers. What do I mean by that? They have to desperately want to sell a property. The property is a liability for them, and they need to get rid of it for many reasons. It could be divorce, fire damage, too much repair, they moved out of town. There's so many reasons why somebody will want to pawn away a property. And those are the people you want to focus on, okay? But if you find yourself in a position where you're cold calling, it's difficult because your expectation is that every next person is going to be a deal, and that's frustrating. But if you put yourself in a position where the calls are coming in, or you at least keep it simple to a text message, you have an easier chance of success, because remember, consistency is a secret, right? You can do that over and over again. You can dedicate 2 hours per day to doing that until you close your first deal. But you need to be texting the right people. You need to make sure that you know what to say to these people. All right. So don't solve the problem of contract unless you have a person, unless you've generated a lead, a person who says, yes, I do want to sell. I like what you're talking to me. What's your offer? Present your offer in written form. I cover this also in 11 days challenge. Don't say, hey, would you accept this? Don't do that. That's unprofessional. And plus, everybody else and their moms and their pops are doing that. Plus, you cannot, like, if you leave your word like that in the conversation on the phone, you're putting them in a position where they said, no, you're crazy. And now there's nothing to look back on. They may change their mind 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. There's nothing to look back on. The only thing they remember is how you made them feel by giving them, quote unquote, a lowball offer. But when you make it in a written form, explaining why you're giving them the offer, because you're never stealing people's properties. Keep that in mind, that you're never never ever stealing people's property. Okay, you're giving them a fair market value on what their property is worth, and based on the fact that you are trying to make money, and the person that's going to buy the property has to make money too. Okay, that's fair market value. That's not after repair value. It's going to be a percentage of the after repair value. That's the whole point. The idea is that whoever is buying this property has to make money. You have to make money for finding the deal. So you're never lowballing people. Okay, you're giving people fair market value. We cover that in details when you get to that stage in 11 days challenge. Okay, so the answer to the question, how do you find wholesale contract? We have that in the 11 days challenge. But if you Google, there's a ton of contract. If you really have that problem, somebody's interested, that means there's a lead. Then you can find one on Google and get, there's tons of gurus that will give you a contract for free, So but I'm just warning you, don't try to solve problems that doesn't exist. Don't look for contract until you know how to generate leads. It's waste of time. Okay. All right, so let's go here. Let's go on to the next question here. All right, so this next segment here is a little bit of an extended training because I had one of my coaching clients today had a question. We've covered this extensively. As a matter of fact, let me tell you precisely where it's at. If you're part of our family here in the 11 days challenge, let me tell you exactly where it's at. It's called the 11-point checklist and property analysis. Okay, this is essentially a spreadsheet that you want to have in front of you. You can actually open it to your phone and ask people questions. You can write it down. You can print it out, right? And these are the questions you want to ask any leads that's been generated. But I'm going to give you like an overview of it and what's in it, but not go into too much details. Okay. But kind of give you an idea of what you're looking to achieve when you're talking to a motivated seller. What is a motivated seller? A person that said, yeah, I do have this piece of crap I need to get rid of, right? Not a person that says, oh yeah, but the house is pretty. It's so pretty. Yeah, I know so many people that can buy this from me right now. What's your offer? Once you start hearing things like that, tell them like, you know what? I may have to refer you to somebody that can get you the most amount of money for the property. That sounds like what you're looking for, right? If they say yes, all right, great. I'm going to have my agent contact you. And I'll follow up with you in another month or so. Keep it moving. You should have too many leads in your pipeline to be dealing with people that are not motivated. So you will generate, if you know how to generate leads, some of your leads are not going to be motivated. That means they don't want to sell that bad and they think they have a gem, or they actually do have a gem. If they have a beautiful house in their hands, let them get it's actually your duty to help them get the most amount of money they can get for it. By the way, a lot of them are still going to end up on your lap as a deal because they couldn't sell it. Because if they could sell it, chances are they wouldn't be calling you or trying to talk to you. Okay, so just focus on numbers game, generating leads. Learn how to generate leads on autopilot. Learn how to generate leads in your sleep, and then you're in business. You don't have to have anxiety about this business once you learn how to have a pipeline of leads coming into your business from time to time. That's what we cover in 11 days challenge. In 11 days challenge to Facebook, that's what we cover. We don't want you to waste time convincing people to do business with you. Okay? We don't want you to waste time convincing people to do business with you. Most people are they would have been sold on doing business with you before they actually get to talking to you. Okay? A lot of the selling started long before, okay? Long before you're talking to them, okay? They made up their mind. They either want to work with you or they don't want to work with you. So don't stress so much on that. Keep it simple to consulting. You're consulting with these people. You're consulting with them. You're not trying to sell them. You're asking them questions. They need to sell you on the idea of you buying their house or somebody in your network buying their house. It's the other way around. Okay, not the way, like if you think of it as this person is going to be my life, it's going to be my first deal, they can tell. Okay, and they will eat you up and spit you out. You're going to look like a predator, and it's not good. Okay, so the first thing you want to make sure of is make sure you're talking to the right person. Okay, how do you make sure you're talking to the right person? If it's a text message, I just send John ? Okay, all right. I do that not only for prospects, we do that for customers. We want to make sure we're talking to the right person first. Okay, that's the first question. Okay, and believe it or not, that one simple question, which is Mary question mark, it kind of lowers the wall. It brings down the wall a little bit. Like, this person knows me. Like, who is this? You're gonna get who is this? You're gonna get things like yes, right? Good. And then you go on to the next question. I'm reaching out to you about 123 Main Street, and I was wondering if you're open to selling it. Can you sell me your house? Keep it simple. What language would you use in your dialect, in where you're coming from, in the way you speak English, right? You see, I have a accent, right? And the way I speak is what I'm going to say. How would you say that? How would you verify if this is the right address, if this person actually owned this property? And then you're going to, sometimes if you do enough of this, you're going to find out sometimes people will be like, no, that's not my property. Are you an investor? Actually, I have this other property. And then you'll pick up deals just because you're creating outreach, right? Marketing, you're marketing. That's stage number 2. You're doing that heavy, right? You're doing that heavy, but because you're doing that so much, it's even the wrong property, but you just generated a lead. Okay. So it's a numbers game. And everything you need to focus on for the most part is a stage 1, 2, 3. Okay. And you need to figure out where you're getting stuck in these stages before you worry about 4 and 5, which is where most people worry about. Most people worry about the money, they worry about contracts, right? But you need to learn how to do 1, 2, 3 properly, because if you do that right, and you could do everything wrong on 4 and 5, you're still gonna make money. Okay. All right. So that's that. So the next question is very, very important. I just keep it simple. Say, tell me the story. What's going on with the property? Keep it simple. Keep it super simple. This is what you would do on any regular day before you stumbled into wholesaling and investing. You would want to know about the property. Tell me about the property. You don't have to say the exact words, tell me the story, but to that effect, right? Tell me about the property, what's going on, and relax. You're not in a rush. They can't rush you. You're the king, you're the queen, okay? You're the boss, you're the consultant, you're the one that's interviewing them to see if you want their property, because there are literally over 100 million properties you can buy from, okay? And you're never in a rush, because this is a numbers game. You can do it all around the nation. So you're not stuck in your nation, in your state. You're not stuck in your county. You can do this anywhere in the nation, right? So tell me the story. What's going on with the property is the next question. If they say yes, they're open. Even if they say yes, what's your offer? Oh, yeah, I'll get you an offer. I'll get you a written offer. So tell me the story. What's going on with the property? All right. And then here's another one. Why do you need to sell? How soon do you need to sell? Those 2 questions need to be answered. Okay. This is how you gauge their motivation level. If they can't answer this question, if they tell you this is none of your business, right? If they tell you this is none of your business, that's a problem. Well, not really. That's a problem for them. Okay. Because remember, you're never in a rush. Right? So that's a problem for them. Okay. That's not a problem for you. Okay. Why do you need to sell? Well, that's none of your business. Oh, okay. You're absolutely right. But tell me, how soon do you need to sell? So you don't have to take it personally. Don't take it personally. Just relax. You don't have to rush to the next question. Relax. Your posture matters. Okay. Take a deep breath multiple times, as much as you need, because you need to not be anxious when you're talking to these people. They need to be anxious. You know how to take breaks, like awkward silences on the phone that makes them uncomfortable. When they're uncomfortable, that means they have anxiety. That's the position you want to be in, right? Because at least they're still on the phone with you, right? Okay, good. Then obviously you want to know the condition of the property. On a scale of 1 to 10, what's the condition of the property? Keep it simple. On a scale of low, high, level, medium, what's the condition of the property? It's in a pretty bad shape. So you're saying highly, it needs a lot of repairs. Yes. Okay. So if that's in New Jersey, we're talking $75,000 to $100,000 of work. Plus, that's subject to inspection. But keep it simple. Okay. Property structure, you want to ask questions like, so tell me, the bathrooms are upstairs. How many bathrooms? How many bedrooms? Do you have a basement? Okay. Do you have a sewage on the property? What about water well? Things like that, right? Whatever is peculiar in the location you're targeting, by the way, you can do this wrong. Okay. You may have other questions later on. You can call them back. You can send them a text message and say, hey, by the way, what's going on with that property? Remember, you're the boss in this situation. You're the consultant. You're the one that's going to help them. And all of this is fact finding and looking for ways that you can help them. And if you can't find a way to help them, you can't do a deal. Okay. And it doesn't matter because you have tons of leads coming in your pipeline every day because you learn the skills of marketing, especially digital marketing in a digital age, and you have leads always coming into your business. It, 11 days challenge is how you do that. Okay. I can't teach you how to do that here. There's no other video that will teach you that. The only thing they'll tell you is to go drive for dollars. Okay. And you and I know that. How do you know that's not going to work? Because they don't do it themselves. So that's not going to work. Okay. At least until you quit on yourself. Okay. Like I said earlier, I meant it when I said all marketing strategies work. The question is that, are you going to keep working until it works, or you're going to get frustrated out of the business? Okay. And then last but not least, you want to make sure you know what the property finances are. So tell me, what do you think the property is worth? What do you think the property is? You're being human. You're not being a robot, right? You're not being extremely technical, right? Yes. What do you think the property is worth? Oh, do you have any lien against the property, like tax liens, mortgages? You say that first, and you say, "What? How much?" Right? If you say, "How much mortgage do you own against the property?" and they go, "That's none of your business. You just want to buy the property, right?" You're right. That's none of my business. Okay. But again, like I said here, tell them I need to know, like, what about rental? Okay. How much is the property renting for? I just wanted to see what the potentials are for me, because we have multiple strategies that we can use to help you get rid of this property, and see what they say at that point. Help me get rid of the property. I don't need to get rid of the property. It's like, oh, okay. So that, to me, it sounds like you just want to make the most money you can make from the property. Again, you're focused on what they want 100% of the time. Yes, absolutely. So what do you think the property is worth? Okay, so I think it's worth 330, and you're looking at your tool, and your tool says the property is worth 250, right? You say, okay, all right, that's fair. You know why? Because that's actually fair. That means they're not desperate, right? And you say, all right, let me get you somebody that can help you get the most amount of money for this property, and I'll follow up with you in like a month. How's that? You're helping them. You're focused on helping them. You're consulting with them. Okay. You're not anxious. You're not like all of that. It's like, it's none of your business in reality if they sell or not. But it becomes your business when it comes to, is it a good deal or is it a bad deal, right? And by the time you ask those questions, you can say, okay, let me get back to you and with an offer. I'm going to send you. Okay, can you confirm the email address where I can send you an offer? Keep your offers written, because the written offer becomes a marketing tool in these people's email addresses, on their desk and things like that, or in their phone. It will, if they're the right people, because keep in mind, you can't say the right thing to the wrong people, and you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. If it's the right people, they'll come back to you. Okay, they'll be running after you, asking you to can we do the contract now? And you'll be like, you know what, it's been like 3 months, can we evaluate the property? I need to know if it's still a deal. Because remember, this is your business. All right. So that's what I have for you guys today. If you're not a member yet, go join 11dayschallenge.com and make sure you upgrade to the premium version if you want personal coaching and things like that, or you want access to Facebook marketing. Challenge is also back there. So we have everything back there that you need to succeed. All right. Literally, you can start generating leads ASAP. Okay, you can start generating leads coming into your business every day. Keep in mind that when you generate leads, not only do you have leads that you can work right now, you're also building a pipeline that you can follow up with over and over and over again. And you create this pipeline, and you have like this a domino effect of deals happening in your business, just because you understand the concept of systems, processes, and a pipeline. All right. That's all I have for you. Hopefully you guys have been enlightened, educated. If you're brand new here, make sure you go download the book, smartrealestateWholesaling.com. It's free. And make sure you read them 10 to 15 times. You need to be able to teach it in your sleep, okay? You need it, okay? Trust me when I tell you, especially Smart Real Estate Wholesaling, you need it. Real Estate Money Secrets is my second book. It's a good book if you are completely brand new in the world of real estate investing, and you just need to know how money flows and where does the money come from. If you're kind of confused on that, that's a good book for that. All right. And that's all I have. Hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. I will see you on the inside, 11dayschallenge.com. Right now. Peace.